On True TV America today, Jada Pinkett Smith did an interview with Jordan. Now, our experts think that she's lying. Now, why don't you weigh in and subscribe and hit the like button and give a comment to us and tell us if she's lying or not.
Going on. I was minding my business, dancing, drinking. Tristan was there. He was doing his own thing. That was it. After the club, normal LA culture, when you're young, go to the bar, go to the club, it ends early. We all go to a house after.
Right.
We're not thinking about whose house or where it's at. We're just, we're all having fun. We're in the moment. The group of girls that I'm with are like, we're going to go to a house. On the way out, they're saying it's Tristan's house. I'm like, cool. That's okay. Feels like a safe environment. I'd rather it be his house than a random stranger.
Right.
He didn't even personally invite me there. Right. It wasn't like, come see me. It was like, oh, I'm hopping in the car. I'm coming with y'all. Y'all going here. Cool. I know him even better.
Right.
We pull up. We walk in. Not once was I aware of anyone's phone or told them to take away a phone. I was not paying. I don't care. I don't have anything to hide.
Right.
So when it comes to the phones being taken away, I have no clue who told them to take away the phone, anything.
Right.
All I know is I had my own.
Right.
And, we're all dancing and we're all drinking and we're all enjoying the time. And I'm not thinking I shouldn't be here.
Right.
And that's my first step where I went wrong. And how I would feel if someone close to me is hanging at my ex's house or the father of my child. I didn't think about that. That's the first part of the problem.
So you're saying, you're saying I shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah, that's the first step is I should have gone home after the party. I shouldn't even have been there.
Right.
Okay, so just like every other video of mine, I like to give some sort of context before I jump into the reading. But the one thing I want to mention after listening to her set up the story is that it's weird that she feels like she shouldn't have been at the party. She said herself that it's normal LA life to end up somewhere else after one party ends. So, unless she was doing something she shouldn't have been doing, what reason would she have to not be there or to feel bad for being there? Why would she view that as a mistake? As long as she's not acting a fool at this, ex/baby father of Khloe Kardashian's house, then I don't think anything she's doing would be considered inherently bad. I just find this regret interesting. It's also interesting how stiff she's being, but we'll get into that.
But the night's going on, and never once was I giving him a lap dance, making out with him, sitting all over him.
I had to stop this right there because that was so clearly a lie to me. Whenever she says, I was never sitting over him, you can see her completely scan the constructive side of her brain, and she stops for a second, and she swallows and looks down, and she's got her eyebrows in that pity me, believe me, not believable in the slightest. I mean, for the most part, she stays pretty stiff. The negative movements line up with the negative speech, but her stiffness implies that she's not telling the whole truth. And then you tie that all together with that move that she just did right there whenever she talked about sitting on him, and it doesn't look good.
It's just, we're all together. We're in a group. Never once did we leave the public area, go to a bedroom, go to a bathroom.
I could be wrong, but it seems to me like in this instance, she can definitely use public area as a loophole because saying they never left the public area is very vague. Just because an area is open to the public doesn't mean that people are necessarily in that space. She definitely isn't remembering this night. She doesn't have a visual image of this night in her head right now because everything that she's saying is very scripted. It's coming straight from what she rehearsed. The way that she comes off is almost pretty natural, so it doesn't feel like she's thought about this over and over and over again in her head, but I definitely know she has. I will say that if Jordyn Woods is a liar, she's a pretty decent one.
what from the night would suggest that there was a lap dance of some kind?
Now, this seems completely crazy to me that anybody says there was a lap dance involved, because there was no lap dance involved.
This clip shows to me that Jordyn Woods is just about as mature as her age will allow her to be. The idea that she could have been giving Tristan a lap dance is definitely not a crazy one to her. She goes into construction the second she says that there wasn't a lap dance, so that's a red flag, on top of the fact that you got that major stress smile, which could also be a duping delight smile if you so please. Her stance whenever she goes into answering this question at first is very defensive. It's not relaxed in any way. She's trying way too hard to act proper. Way too hard.
But what I can think as to why someone would say that, there was a chair here, a couch, and another chair.
Got it.
It's all filled.
Got it.
So he's sitting in this chair, and there's an arm of the chair that goes up about here.
Okay.
And I'm sitting on the arm of the chair. So you come into the party and you look, and you see me sitting on the chair. In my head, this is innocent. You know, like, we're all drinking, we're all chilling. There's no way it would look like a lap dance, but I could see why people would say, oh, they're getting cozy.
Did you have your arm around him?
No.
Okay.
But my legs were laying right over his.
Got it. Okay.
My butt was never sitting on him.
But your legs were, so he
But
was...
my legs were dangling down, so I picked them up and I put them over.
Onto his legs.
Onto the bottom of his legs, yes.
Onto the bottom of his legs.
This part in particular, I kind of feel like she might be embellishing solely because she's really relying on Jada for, like, some kind of, yes, I'm understanding the story, I'm following it. Like, she really, really wants to make this part of the story clear. Like, even to where she's kind of mapping it out in her head. Like, she's explaining the room. I still think it's interesting that even with her explaining the room, explaining the chair she's sitting on, she still constructs the idea in her head. She's not vividly remembering this. That's what makes me think that she's omitting some kind of truth.
There's stories that she was sitting on his lap. She was dangling in his crotch area. That is not the truth. But if you're looking for a story, I can understand why that would be the story.
She's rocking side to side right now because she's a little baby and this soothes her, so every movement that she's making right now is very stiff and very emotionless.
Right. So there wasn't any, like, intimate little chuckle, giggle, you in his ear, him in your ear.
I mean, as we all were just dancing and having fun, everyone at the party, so we're in this person's ear, this person, but never anything intimate. Never anything like...
And he didn't make any moves on you throughout the night?
No.
Okay.
He didn't try to take me to a room. He didn't try to... We were all... It was just an innocent time. I finally look outside and I'm like, look, the sun's coming up. I need to take myself home.
Right.
And, you know, I tell everyone I'm leaving. I tell Tristan I'm leaving. And he's like, are you sure? You know, it's fine. You can be safe here. And I'm like, you know what? I need to go. My car's outside. I had a driver outside. It's been waiting. So this is where the story gets tricky.
I'm going to go ahead and take a wild guess that her leaving didn't actually play out that way. But let's just see, you know, how the story gets tricky.
But on the way out, he did kiss me.
No.
And
what do you mean by kiss?
it's just no passion, no nothing on the way out. He just kissed me and
Like a tongue kiss, like a peck on the lips, peck on the, like a...
No, it was like a kiss on the lips, but no tongue kiss, no making out.
Got it.
Nothing. And I don't think that he's wrong either because I allowed myself to be in that position.
Okay, so we're gonna see her go into betrayal mode now. That's what she's in. If you notice, she tends to act more like a robot after this question is asked than she has throughout the entire interview. The only two things that are moving are her head and her hand. Her head is making these swiveling movements that are somewhat jerky, and her hands flailing up and down as she speaks. On top of that, the rest of her body is not moving whatsoever. She is a brick wall, so her body is 100% not singing with her. Her mouth may be saying a lot of words, but her brain is definitely not feeling the same things that she's speaking. And you notice that she went straight into defending him the second she got done with her answer. She hasn't learned anything from this. She's still a child in her mind.
Were you shocked?
I didn't know how to feel. I was like, that didn't just happen. Because, I was leaving already, so I walked out immediately after. And I got in the car and I was like, no, that didn't happen.
And so you left immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say it? Did you say anything to him like, what?
I was just like, I need to go. I was in shock. I was more so like, did this really, I was like, let me just pretend like that didn't happen.
Oh my god, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Did you have any understanding possibly of why he would do that, or?
Just think, Jordan. What would be a good excuse other than we're hooking up?
I'm there until the sun's coming up.
Right, so he's like,
right. Maybe let me just shoot my shot.
So you went home, and what happened next?
I went home. I had talked to Kylie and Chloe in the morning, and I told them I was there. And I had talked to Chloe, and she, asked me what was going on. Is everything fine? And in my head of trying to forget that part of the story, I was just like, no, he was chilling. Everything was okay. Like, there were girls there, but he wasn't, all over the girls.
What exactly were you not honest about?
I was honest about being there, but I wasn't honest about the actions that had taken place.
Well, guys, I think this is where I'm going to end today's video because I've kind of made up my mind and my own personal opinion on Jordyn Woods and where I think her innocence lies. I don't think that she told the truth throughout this interview. The way that I personally feel about the situation can be perfectly summed up in this tea spill tweet. Thank you guys so much for watching.